Hi, my name is Anna. I am an ICU travel nurse. I just got into CRNA school and I'm currently living in California, but I wanted to talk to y'all about being a local travel nurse because this is something that I can't fit into 15 seconds, and this is something that can help out a lot of people. My background is that I went to Los Angeles for 5 months for my first travel assignment, this time last year. And then I was a local travel nurse for 8 months in the DMV area. For those of you not on the East Coast, that means I was on the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Travel nursing is a great option for people who live in large metro areas because there are a ton of hospitals, and it basically just means that you get paid triple to do the same job. What they don't want you to know, or what a lot of people don't know about local travel nursing, is that it isn't listed as a local travel job. It's just listed as a regular travel job. So you have to ask and be a little bit resourceful trying to find those local travel opportunities. So there's a couple things to be aware of as you're looking for a travel contract. And one, the biggest things are staying on the right side of the IRS. You want to make sure that you're paying your taxes correctly. You definitely need to be paying a CPA if you're a travel nurse. You can afford that $300, $500 a year, whatever it is. It's worth it to stay on the right side of the IRS. There are a couple of things about travel nursing, and one of them is that you've got a lot of paperwork. So the way that a typical travel nurse job works is that, let's say that you live in Maryland and you want to work in California. Great. You have an apartment in Maryland, your mom is in Maryland, your dog, your cat, your renter's insurance, your taxes, and you're registered to vote. All of that is in Maryland. That qualifies as your tax home, meaning that you are a permanent resident of Maryland. And then you can go take a travel nurse contract in California for 13 weeks at a time. And then you are going to be getting paid your hourly wages as a travel nurse, but then you're also getting a tax-free stipend. The reason you're getting that tax-free stipend is because you are duplicating expenses. That means that you are paying for your rent, your utilities, your water, all back in Maryland. You have a tax home in Maryland. And the tax-free stipends are ruled by the government, and you can look at it's gsa.com, meals and incidentals, and then you can see what the limits are for your tax-free stipend in each state, county, and city. And it's different in every part of the country. So your tax-free stipends in Oklahoma are going to be less than in San Francisco because the cost of living is different in both of those two places. So if you're a regular travel nurse, it's really helpful for you to know that website as a form of reference so that you can make sure that you're getting the maximum tax-free stipend from your travel agency, and always just be aware of what the maximum stipend is in the area that you are working. But as a local travel nurse, you don't qualify for the tax-free stipend. This is where it's important to work with a CPA. It's important to make sure that you're staying legal. A bunch of nurse blogs on the internet will say, oh, well, as long as you are 50 miles from your tax home, you can still collect that tax-free stipend. That's not really true unless you're truly duplicating expenses. So if you're paying for a hotel, or if you are paying for an Airbnb, and you're paying for your rent back home, and you work those 50 miles away, yes, you can take the tax-free stipend. If you're not, if you're just driving 2 hours to work and then driving back, that's where you're gonna get in trouble with the IRS because you're not duplicating expenses. You just have a long commute. So I really recommend working with a CPA and making sure that you guys are doing everything legally, because a lot of travel nurses take risks that I do not think are safe, and they won't pay any taxes. So don't do that. Work with a CPA, pay all your taxes. So we talked about the difference between local travel and regular travel. A regular travel nurse contract, you get paid your hourly and you get paid your tax-free stipend every single week. And those, when you open up any of the travel nurse websites, those are the jobs that are listed. So it'll be a blended pay package of including your stipend and your hourly wages. And then what you need to do looking for local travel jobs is ask your recruiter if that facility will accept local travelers. Not every facility will take local travelers. Some hospitals are incentivized to keep their employees as staff nurses so that they can pay them less, and they don't want their staff leaving to go across the street and make triple. They want to pay their staff nurses as little as possible because capitalist medicine is very dirty, which is a whole situation. I have many thoughts about that. But you need to ask your recruiter if the facility will accept local travelers, and then he or she we'll ask the account manager, and then they will circle back to you with a yes or a no. So once you have whether a travel job will accept local travelers as a yes or a no, ask your recruiter to send you the side-by-side pay packages of both the regular and then as the local traveler. You're going to see that the local travel pay contract is a little bit less, like a couple $100s less a week. And that is because your travel agency has to pay payroll taxes on all of your money now because you're a local traveler, versus if you were collecting the tax-free stipend, it's a cost-saving measure for the travel agency as well. So every agency you work with, you will see that if you're a local traveler, the pay package is a little bit less at baseline if you are a local traveler versus a regular traveler, because the agency has to pay more taxes on the tax-free stipend, meaning you get a little bit less money as well. And then the way that it works from there is super simple. You get your pay rate, and then you get your overtime rate, and then you work as much as you want, and you pay taxes on all of it. So I had a contract, I'll pull it up, that was a comparison of a couple of different pay packages, and I think my pay was like $90-something an hour base, and then like $130 overtime. Okay, let's see. Here's a pay package that I did in like September. This is not my current contract, it was before. So in California, you get overtime after 8 hours worked per the California labor laws. So for a 48-hour contract, I got 8 hours paid out at $98 an hour and 4 hours at $147 an hour. Which then for 48 hours in a week came out to $5,488. And that was for 1 week of work in California, $5,488. And then I paid taxes on all of that. So then you pay your like 9% California, your 24% federal. I have a 401k. And then at the end of the year, I do get taxes back. But again, it's just very important to work with a CPA, and I can't give tax advice because everybody's tax situation is different. Like, I'm married, I don't have any kids. What are my withholdings? My withholdings will be different from yours, so you just need to work with a CPA to get all of that ironed out. But let me pull it up. As a travel nurse working 8 months out of this past year, I was a local traveler, and then I did 4 months of regular traveling. I'll clear $200,000 this year, and I will have only worked 10 months this year. Let me see if I can pull that up. But yeah, I will make $200,000 as a travel nurse working local travel contracts, and I think that local traveling is a really great option, especially if you live in a large metropolitan area. Like, you know, your Dallas, your New York, your DC, your San Francisco, your LA. There's, you know, probably 30 different hospitals that you could work at where you're going to make about triple what you're making as a staff nurse. So why not hop across the street and make 3 times as much? The rules to guide you are just to make sure that you ask your recruiter if they will take you as a local traveler. So any job that you see listed as a regular travel, ask if they'll take a local traveler, submit to the job, look at the pay packages, do the interview, accept the job, work with a CPA, pay all of your taxes, but then make triple what you were making as a staff nurse for doing the same job. I literally was right across the street from where I was working as a staff nurse for 8 months, and my base pay was more than triple what I had been making as a staff nurse. I was like, why not get paid more to do the same job? And that's why I wanted to kind of go over this with y'all, because this is longer than a 15-second amount of information. Follow me on Instagram. It's Anna Reese's on Instagram and Reese's RN on TikTok. And comment what else you want to hear from me. I'll have content about travel nursing, critical care, and nurse anesthesia school. Thanks for watching.